Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw goes, so I don't know, and I want to get Luke's opinion on this here in a moment, but I don't know if it's the time change or if it was just me. I know someone else tweeted at me this on Twitter as well. The show wasn't bad. I liked tonight's Raw. I will say that for sure. But it did feel just a little long, and I don't know if that's the time, like, by the time Raw usually ends, it's still light outside. If I'm looking right now, it's pitch dark. So I don't know if it's that it feels long because it feels later, or if it felt long because it felt like a long show. But I had someone tweet me that, and I was thinking the same thing, like, man, this show's got to be almost over, right? And I looked down, and I'm like, oh, we got another hour. And then I realized it's because it's getting dark earlier outside. But Luke, what did you feel about tonight's show as far as, like, did you feel like it felt like a long show? It flowed well for me, but what were your thoughts on the way the show went tonight?
I mean, I could definitely see why it would feel longer, but like normally when it ends, it's already like pitch dark out for me. So
true, because you're a different time zone.
Yeah, I'm different time zone, and it I would say it felt a little long, but it wasn't like a bad show. I mean, they did a really good job of like building stuff up for next week, and they did a really good job of like hyping up NXT. Like they're going all out for NXT like tomorrow.
Now, I will say, watching on the USA Network website, I didn't see a lot of NXT commercials because they would run their own commercials on the app and the website or whatever. So then when they would end those right before they come back from commercial, I'd see the very end of the NXT commercial. I just hear on NXT, and then it'd go back into Raw. So I saw that they were running a lot of NXT commercials, but myself, watching on the USA Network website, I didn't see any of them, except for like 2. So that's an interesting one, that they hyped it up a lot with a bunch of commercials, but I don't know how many people watch on the app and the website, but we didn't see any of them, because all we kept getting were E! and Bravo commercials for the most part. Oh, go watch this new House of Villains show. Oh, go watch Housewives, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So, yeah. But tomorrow's going to be wild, because not only is there NXT, but there's also AEW Dynamite. Not only did NXT announce, hey, the first 30 minutes of this show is going to be commercial free, then Tony Khan went out and said the first 30 minutes of this show is going to be commercial free. Then Tony Khan went out, and said, also, we're doing a pre-show. We've got a buy-in. It's Eddie Kingston versus Minoru Suzuki. Free and live on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. No, Twitter and Facebook. So it's like, I'm going to wake up in the morning, and there's going to be like 2 pay-per-views announced for tomorrow night, basically. Like, what the hell? These 2 companies. And someone literally goes, because I'm like, NXT trying everything they can to win. They're trying to beat AEW. And someone had the nerve to comment to me and go, well, you know, there's baseball and hockey tomorrow, so they're not just trying to beat AEW. I'm like, okay, well, if that was the case, then they wouldn't throw every big name on the show at once. If they were trying to not lose as bad to hockey and postseason baseball, then they would spread out Cody and Cena and Taker over multiple weeks and not throw them all on one show. No. This is all to try and beat AEW head-to-head for WWE. Like, don't try to tell yourself different. WWE is not loading up this show because they got a wild card baseball game in the start of the hockey season in NBA. I don't care about any of that other stuff other than looking good against AEW head-to-head. Why? Because AEW beat them last year. AEW won last year when they went head-to-head for Title Tuesday. But here's the thing. Week later, nobody remembered any of that. No one remembered what was on either show. So does it really matter? No. In the short-term game, whoever wins can brag for a couple of days, sure. But yeah, Tony Khan's doing a goddamn pre-show tomorrow before. I guess it works because they don't have dark and dark elevation tapings before Dynamite anymore. So what else are you going to do? But we'll figure all that out, see how that all goes. Again, I'm expecting a bunch more stuff to be announced. Maybe not a bunch, but at least 1 or 2 more things from each company. What are your thoughts on this head-to-head NXT versus AEW battle tomorrow?
I will say, like, WWE has always done like really well as far as like in the NXT ratings whenever they had like main roster guys on NXT.
Yep.
Like even like when AEW first started, when AEW was literally crushing NXT in the ratings, Like they had like Survivor Series with like NXT involved, and they had that episode where like all these main roster guys were on NXT,
Right.
and they beat AEW. So
It's gonna be interesting.
it's gonna be interesting which show gets like the most ratings tomorrow. But I don't know. We'll see.
I know people are gonna say that I'm biased and that I like WWE better, but I think NXT wins. With John Cena, Cody Rhodes, The Undertaker, Asuka. I know these two aren't going to make a big difference, but Butch and Ridge Holland, we've got them in a street fight. Like, Paul Heyman's going to be on the show. I think WWE is going to win. Even if it's not by much, I think WWE, in the overall number, I think is going to win. I don't know about like the 18 to 49 demo or the 18 to 34. I don't know about the demos, but I think WWE gets a higher overall number. I think that's what we're going to see. Because I think NXT already does a better over 50 rating than AEW anyways, so WWE's got them there.
It's going to be really close because also people are going to be really interested to see how Adam Copeland's first match in AEW goes.
True.
As well.
But apparently, if you look at the ratings, he didn't really help much on both Dynamite or Collision. So is the interest really there for Adam Copeland with AEW fans?
I think people are interested in like him and Christian stuff. I think that's the only thing that they're interested in.
That's what they've been doing on the Dynamite and Collision stuff is him and Christian. And if you look
their promo that they did in like Adam Copeland's first like Dynamite,
right?
That was amazing.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
Go F yourself. But it's like if you look at the ratings numbers and like the breakdowns that Meltzer had in the Observer and stuff, Adam Copeland actually didn't make a difference. They got about what they were less than they normally do because there was a scheduling issue and a TV guide issue with TBS. But if you take that away and add I think it's like 11% that got hurt, Copeland would have done the exact with Adam Copeland. They would have done just about the exact same number Rampage Dynamite normally does. So I don't know. We'll have to give it some time and see if the interest rises because it's not super there right yet. That's all I'm gonna say. The interest of Adam Copeland in AEW is not there fully yet, but it could get there. But with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also remember that it doesn't have to be your Amazon Prime account. It can be anybody's Amazon Prime account, like your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your grandma, your grandpa, your auntie, your uncle, anybody. You take that Amazon Prime, you take that Twitch Prime, you link them together, bada bing, bada boom, you're Prime Gaming. Also remember, head over to YouTube, hit that join button, and become a channel member. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming the free games are getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, the free game is Godlike Burger, which is actually kind of fun. I've played it a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it. And it's free right now in the Epic Game Store, so go claim it. Doesn't cost you anything, and put this code in PWU NLIMITED at checkout. You're supporting us. You're not paying anything because you're claiming the free game. Heck, you want to claim another free game? Disney Speedstorm. Go claim it on the Epic Game Store and then put in this code when you do. It is better than Mario Kart. It is better than Crash Team Racing. It is the Disney kart racing game made by Gameloft. That is awesome. But with that, as far as Monday Night Raw does go, Raw itself kicked off with the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. Rollins came out and said that he gave the fight of his life at Fastlane. And there were times when he thought he couldn't get up, but he did. After the match, he went to the back and settled in that his back is still broken. He didn't feel any better. Well, of course you're not going to feel any better. He said his tone then became serious and said that it was an honor to be your World Heavyweight Champion and have this career. The fans started thinking that Seth was going to retire or at least drop the world title and take some time off. They start chanting, "You still got it," and "Thank you, Seth." Seth then faked them all out and goes, "And I'm here to stay as your world champion." Rollins said that he's going to fight as much as he has to. But he asked the crowd for one favor, to not have him have to fight tonight. Give him one night off. And the crowd booed because they wanted to see Seth in a fight tonight. Seth was like, hey, I'm not going to wrestle tonight, but you can sing my song. And I'm like, if Seth wanted to be a big asshole dick, well, he did it right there. Sing my song, I'm not going to wrestle for you. That then led to Drew McIntyre interrupting, though. After Seth said that he's ready to have a party here. So Drew came down and Seth said, "You're not having a party, are you?" And Drew's like, "Yeah, no." Rollins then said, "You want a world heavyweight title shot, don't you?" Drew nodded. Yep. Rollins said that he wanted just one night of freedom, one night where he didn't have to fight. But then he would give Drew whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. Drew told him that the party was still on, and he wasn't going to attack Rollins from behind. He wants to actually fight him at his best. He then challenged Rollins, and Rollins said, "We can do this match at Crown Jewel." Rollins was a little confused that Drew was not like everybody else, just attacking him whenever, jumping him from behind. Rollins then pulled the fans and applauded the idea, where he said, "Yeah, I'll accept your challenge for Crown Jewel, you and me, World Heavyweight Championship." Rollins then invited McIntyre to stay. He said, "Hey, you've been in a band before. You know how to party. You can sing a little bit. Let's have some fun." And Drew's like, "Yeah, no." Respectfully decline. McIntyre said he has business to take care of, but if anyone saw him around town after the show, they can go get a beer or even a shot. After McIntyre left the ring, all of a sudden Seth had to fight because Seth was attacked by Damian Priest. This was weird. I kind of get it, but why did Dom have to come down with the briefcase and not Damian have it in his hand? Or with him on that side of the ring?
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. Like, unless Rhea took it away from him and then he had Dom go retrieve it for him while he was attacking Seth. I don't know.
The only thing that makes sense to me, and it really doesn't make sense to me, is he wanted his hands free to attack Seth and didn't want to be holding the briefcase. Well, hey, buddy, why not just use the briefcase and attack Seth from behind? You know what I mean? So this kind of didn't make sense. So Damian attacks Seth from behind. Seth's down. He wants to cash in. Dominic's got the briefcase and a referee. Drew grabs the briefcase and goes, this ain't happening. So he throws the briefcase literally into into the big screen. It hits the screen, and cash in doesn't happen. Now, is this Drew saying that I really want to take the title from Seth? Or, Seth's not at 100%, so I need to keep that guy the champion because if Damian gets the belt, he's not as hurt. So is it he's more afraid to face Damian for the title than Seth? Or he just really wants to fight Seth?
I'm not sure at this point. I really don't.
It didn't really make fully sense. It didn't fully make sense to me. Like, you're gonna stop the cash. Go for it.
Bang said because Rhea was keeping it from Damian from cashing it and must have gave it to Dom.
You don't think that after Fastlane he got that back before traveling? You don't think he got it back from Rhea? I think he did. I don't know. Just so weird. It was kind of a weird way to end the segment where it's like he's going to attack Seth. He wants to cash in, but he doesn't have his briefcase. Huh? Whatever. It's whatever. Go for it.
My biggest question is who's actually going to be next in line for Seth. I hope it's not Drew because I kind of want to wait for him to face Drew at Mania.
No. It's announced. It's official. Drew and Seth at Crown Jewel in Saudi. It's official. They showed the graphic. It's official.
Does Drew actually win, though?
No. This match was actually, at one point, slated for last year's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 39. At one point, it was discussed.
Well, yeah, because, like, originally, like, Seth was supposed to, like, win that world title before Mania, and, like, Seth was going to set to defend, and maybe Drew was, like, gonna win, maybe. Mm-hmm. But
moving forward, they plug. Go for it. What's up?
So, like, let's say Drew. Ooh, I got it. So let's say Drew loses at Crown Jewel, and then he like goes on to win the Rumble and says, "You know what? I lost to Seth at Crown Jewel, so I want a rematch at Mania."
I could see that. You don't think Cody wins the Rumble?
He won it last year, and I don't think it really makes sense for this one. I feel like if someone's going to win the Rumble, they should face Seth this time.
But how do you get back to Cody and Roman?
Let's say, like, Roman's like, all right, Cody, you want to face me again? You got to go through, like, Solo and Jimmy.
I don't know if I like that because it's like, Cody's on Raw. How do you get him over to SmackDown is the big question. Now, granted, no one's moved over from the Jey Uso acquisition, so I still think that could be Cody.
He moves over to SmackDown from that Jey Uso accusation. He then has to face Solo and Jimmy, and has to like enter the Elimination Chamber like number 1, and the winner of that match faces Roman.
Not a bad idea.
It's the only logical one that makes sense to me. That's like that's not having him like win the Rumble.
So they then plug Becky Lynch's book is now up for pre-order. It is actually number 1 right now in celebrity biography books. Then we have Viking Rules. Kofi Kingston against Ivar in an 11.5-minute match with no front of the boat. How are you going to do Viking Rules with no front of the boat? Also, I can hear myself on your end again. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nope, it stopped already. Whatever you're doing when you grab the cord is stopping it.
I think it's the audio on my headset.
Maybe.
I think if I turn it up all the way, you can hear it.
Probably. So we have a Viking Rules match with no Viking boat, which was kind of a disappointment because I was looking for someone to get thrown into it or crash into it, but whatever. They changed the voiceover opening on the New Day's theme. It used to be Big E. Now it's not anymore. At least it didn't sound like Big E to me. So after the break, there's not much really happened in the first 3 or 4 minutes of this match. But after the break, Kingston used a flagpole as they were on the top rope to try and do like a Russian leg sweep. Kingston then hit an SOS and got a 2 off of it. Ivar then hit a spinning slam for a 2 and a sit-out powerbomb for yet another 2. With Ivar sitting on the top rope, Kingston yanked him off by his beard and threw him through a table to the ringside area below. Huge reaction from the crowd when Ivar took a flip bump off the top rope through a table down below. Like he crashed right through that table so hard. Like, oh my God. They say table bumps aren't as bad as a regular bump because the table breaks your fall. He crashed so hard through this table that I don't know if it broke his fall. Like, it was hard. Valhalla then all of a sudden ran in through the crowd, leapt off the announce table, and knocked down Kofi. This led to Xavier Woods running out. He tried to stop her. He got scared of her. And then he was also taken out by Ivar. Ivar squished him into the barricade. Kingston then tried to go for a Trouble in Paradise, but Ivar caught him and gave him a power slam through the corner table. Ivar then followed this up with his moonsault. Give me 1 second. Ban this guy in the chat. He went for his moonsault and then pinned Kofi 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. So there we go. Ivar defeats Kofi. And then we got Wade Barrett again. A man of that size, Cole, should not be able to do that kind of a move. So there we go. What do you think of the match? Also, Wayne's question here. Don't know why Samantha Irvin was not doing the announcing and it was Mike Rome. No clue. What do you think of the match with no boat?
I mean, the match was decent. It was better than what I expected. Like, going into the match, I had very low expectations for it.
I mean, I knew it was going to be at least pretty good because their last match that was just a singles match was really good. But I thought this was a great showing for Ivar again. And Ivar showing why, I know him and Eric are a great tag team, but maybe they do some stuff with Ivar by himself. That's not just the New Day every week. We go backstage. Byron Saxon says, and now my guest, Shinsuke Nakamura. Byron asked Shinsuke to comment on his performance of Fastlane. Shinsuke didn't answer. And then Ricochet just runs in and attacks. Why? Tell me why. I have no clue. Why did Ricochet attack Shinsuke? Do you know? Because I don't get it. I thought their stuff was already dealt with.
I don't know, really.
This was kind of weird because it's like they already had their singles match when they had their little squabble backstage, and then Shinsuke won. Ricochet mad that Shinsuke keeps beating him? I don't know. Since Saturday, yes, we retweeted the glorious bomb on Twitter from DIY. It was glorious.
Honestly, not the same without Robert Roode, though.
He was in the video. Did you not see it at the end of the video? They knocked on the door. Michael Hayes came out. They were like, no. They closed the door. Robert Roode then came out, and he gave him like the big old smile when they were playing Glorious.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah. You gotta watch the whole thing.
Hang on, let me look back at it.
Yeah, it was funny. It was great. I want more. But this just didn't make sense to me because it's like I thought we already ended this weeks ago. But obviously it's not done. And then they had a match later on. Well, no, they're having a match next week. Shinsuke rightfully attacked Ricochet because Ricochet attacked him first. So, yeah. But after commercial break,
they're really struggling on like finding something for Ricochet, in my opinion.
A little bit.
Because like after the stuff with Logan Paul, it's like, all right, what do we do with this guy now?
So after the break, we were granted with a shot of Damian Priest holding up JD McDonough on a wall by his throat, pissed off. Finn and Rhea then ran in to save JD, but they were also pissed at JD. McDonough was about to plead his case, but Balor told him, no, you need to shut up. Balor said McDonough has caused a lot of trouble this past week. He's had enough of him. Priest then said, wondered where Balor and Ripley were. Why weren't they there to help him against Drew and Seth and whatever happened earlier? And they were like, hey, don't worry. We were talking to Adam Pearce, and guess what? Getting a tag title shot next week. Priest was cool with that, but still said, I need to go deal with Drew McIntyre. And Rhea's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. JD will. Ripley told him to go take care of Drew, and Finn even said the same thing. You want to be part of this group? You need to prove yourself by taking care of the Drew McIntyre problem. Ripley then got in his face and told him, go deal with Drew McIntyre. Well, it's like, oh, we all know it's going to happen. Priest was then like, yeah, and I hope he kind of beats you up so afterwards I can snap you in half. So, we got that match later. That was a match. Just like this next match that was a match that ended in disqualification. But before we get into that, did you have anything to say on the Judgment Day segment here?
I'm honestly really curious to see like when like Damian Priest and like everyone else is officially going to be satisfied with JD McDonough. I mean, this is like very similar to like the Sami Zayn Bloodline stuff last year.
A little bit.
Like Jey Uso like still wasn't on board with Sami and the Bloodline. Then there was like after War Games, Jey was finally satisfied.
Right.
I feel like this is eventually going to lead to War Games. I think Judgment Day would probably pick up the victory, and then everyone is satisfied with JD McDonough.
Mm-hmm. Let me move on to the 7-minute match that ended in a DQ. It was Nia Jax versus Raquel Rodriguez. Jax went to the middle rope for her Nia her later, but Rodriguez slipped under and hit a powerbomb and popped the crowd. Ripley then ran down and chucked Rodriguez out of the ring for the disqualification. Like 7 minutes of nothing. Literally, this match went for 7 minutes, and I have no notes because I felt like nothing happened. Ripley was there for Jax and attacked her as the crowd cheered. Rodriguez then went after Ripley, but Ripley dropped her with the headbutt. Shayna Baszler then ran out and attacked Nia. Baszler and Rhea got face to face, and after Ripley turned her back, Baszler gave her a German suplex and a knee strike. Jax then backed away up the ramp as Baszler stood tall. And this did lead to later Rhea asking for a match with Shayna next week. Any thoughts?
I mean, not really. I mean, is it going to be Nia versus Rhea in Saudi?
Good chance. Very good chance. That's what I would think.
Or unless they did like a fatal four-way match.
I can see that. I didn't think about that, but I can see that. I think it really depends on who wins next week, which is probably going to be Rhea over Shayna. Because they make Shayna look good. They make Shayna look good tonight, and then Rhea beats her next week. If that's the case, then no four-way.
And the only way it would be a four-way is if Nia comes out and causes a disqualification.
Right.
And then that'll set up a fatal four-way.
Yeah.
But I think at the end it'll be Nia versus Rhea.
Same here. So Rollins confronted McIntyre in the back. Rollins wondered what kind of games he was playing, as McIntyre ignored Priest's attack but stopped the Money in the Bank cash-in. McIntyre said that he wasn't playing any games. He already said what he wants, and he's getting what he wants, and he's not getting involved in anybody else's business. You got attacked, and why should I have to make that save? The Judgment Day's trying to cash in, and I just stopped him from cashing in. He compared it to the Bloodline holding the Universal title for 3 years and didn't want to see a sequel of that on Monday Night Raw. Rollins then told McIntyre they didn't have to worry about the Judgment Day. They couldn't take the title from him even if they wanted to, and neither can Drew. Drew kind of like smirked at that line. So yeah, we're getting it. It's official. It's happening in Saudi Arabia. Drew, Seth, World Heavyweight Championship.
It should be a good match. Don't get me wrong.
For sure. So Jackie
Drew's probably not going to win the belt, but like I said earlier, I think maybe this could be like the first step of like maybe possibly Drew versus Seth at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Jackie Redmond interviewed Shayna Baszler. Baszler said that she was the baddest woman in the ring, no matter who else was standing in there with her. No one would sneak attack her and get away with it. Well, she don't have to worry about a sneak attack. Her and Rhea, it's one-on-one official next week. So Michael Cole's in the ring, and he introduces us to the brand new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. I thought Cody missed the mark here. The first thing that should have happened before Michael Cole asked any questions, Cody should have looked at Jey, looked at the crowd, and just went, yeet. Like, Jey got a yeet in early, but it would have been so much funnier if Cody did.
Dude, that press conference at Fastlane was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, it was such a moment. WWE like clipped it and put it up as its own 15-minute video on their YouTube channel. Like, it was so funny.
One of my favorite parts was like Jey was going like, "You feel me? You feel me?" And Cody's like, "Do you feel him, sir?"
Yeah. Do you feel him, sir? That's so funny. Does your 20-year-old self feel me? Anyways.
And the other part was like Jey going like, "Oh, I bet everyone lost a lot of money tonight on this match."
Yeah. When he said, "I bet a lot of people lost some money thinking Judgment Day will walk out with these titles." He must have saw them betting odds. But Michael Cole asked the question. Cole asked Rhodes about his original goal of, quote, finishing the story, and asked if he was now content being a champion, a tag team champion. Cole wondered if Rhodes didn't want to take another shot at the world or the WWE championship, because maybe after failing the first time, he was uncertain he can do it this time, that maybe he can't beat Roman. Rhodes said that he was excited as everyone else to be one half of the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. Cole repeated his question, and Cody did not answer. Cole even said, "You got this close, just like your dad." And before Cody could answer, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens would come down to the ring. Randy would then send out a tweet basically saying, "Hey, Michael Cole, are you looking to get punched in the mouth with these questions?" So Sami comes out. We hear, oh, let's go. Bang, bang, bang. I'm like, what are they back to this music for? Sami didn't even know, because Sami gets in the ring and goes, well, I haven't heard that music in a while.
Yeah, I think there was like a technical issue with that one.
I don't know what happened. They clicked the wrong Sami Zayn button.
Yeah, and like later on, they played his original theme song. Yeah, I think it was a technical issue, but yeah. Oh well.
I just love Sami going, I haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah, when he was like walking down, he was like all confused, like,
right?
Huh?
So, Zayn and Jay. Zay said that Jay and Jimmy are the longest reigning tag team champions in history until, well, he and Kevin defeated them at WrestleMania in the main event. He said Judgment Day were red hot, can't give them, or can't take that credit away from them, but they were defeated by Jay and Cody. He said that should be the story. The story should be completed. Zayn says that he was happy for both of them. However, Zayn has mixed emotions. He's happy for them, but he also wants to fight them and take the titles from them. Kevin then goes, hey, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I don't have any mixed emotions. I just want to fight you for those titles. But I know if I ask for the match, you're just going to say no. He said, I don't have mixed emotions. I'm not happy to see you guys with my belts, basically is what he said. And Cody was like, whoa. You think we're not going to accept? Heck, hey, you want the match? Let's do it. Tonight we accept. And so Rhodes at one point, go for it.
I kind of like Kevin Owens like behavior where he's like, fine, just give us the match. I don't care. Like Sami Zayn's trying to be like Peacemaker, and Kevin Owens just having that attitude where he doesn't give a crap. Just give us what I want, or he'll be like, fine, we'll do the match. I don't care.
Yeah, because Owens was like, I know you guys aren't going to say yes, because Jay ain't going to want to get beat by me twice for tag titles. But Cody said, quote, we're all friends here. At least I think we are. And that's when he accepted the match. Zayn shook their hands, and Kevin walked away. So overall, not a bad segment. It wasn't great or anything, but it was effective and set up our main event.
And we all knew that in the end, like Jay and Cody weren't going to drop the belts tonight, but I'm really curious to see how long they hold the belts, honestly. Do they lose them at like Crown Jewel or Royal Rumble?
Do they lose them next week to Judgment Day? I doubt it.
I mean, I feel like that'd be too early.
Same. Agree. Then we got a funny segment. Otis was helping Chad Gable get ready for his triple threat #1 contenders match by chopping him in the chest. So
that was very creative, honestly.
Yeah. Gable's getting chopped in the chest by Otis. And Gable said he needed to be ready for Gunther. Bronson Reed would then come up, all kinds of amused, and suggested Gable tell his daughters not to watch what's going to happen tonight, because there's going to be another heartbreaking loss for their dad. They kind of just like played that off a little bit. And then Gable told Otis, give me another chop. And he would chop him. And he'd go, thank you. Can I have another? Thank you. Can I have another? And they took one more at the end. I liked it. It was funny. It was creative. It was a good way to get 5 minutes off the show or whatever.
Right.
As we move on forward. Oh, here we go. Ricochet was coming out for the triple threat match we just talked about. It was Ricochet, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable when he was attacked by Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura grabbed Ricochet after attacking him from behind and gave him a GTS go to sleep, set up for the Kinshasa, but then was stopped by officials. Also, he gave him the weakest looking GTS I've ever seen. He literally put him on his shoulders and then kind of just like sat him down, and Ricochet fell down on his knee. Nakamura didn't even try for this go to sleep. It was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah, it was a little pathetic.
I don't know if he was just not wanting to try because he was mad about something else, or he was not wanting to try because that's the character. I'm going to beat you up without any effort. I don't know. I really don't know. But this is the weakest looking GTS I've ever seen. So after the break, Ricochet sold the attack in the ring while waiting for his opponents. Wade Barrett said his condition was his own fault after what he did earlier tonight to Nakamura, which Wade's not wrong there at all. This then leads to a triple threat match that went 9.5 minutes. Early on, Gable suplexed Ricochet onto Reed outside of the ring. After a break, Reed hoisted up both men and dropped them with a Samoan drop. Ricochet then gave Gable a springboard crossbody and a standing shooting star press for a 2. Ricochet then superplexed Reed and gave Gable then Gable gave Reed an impressive German suplex. Gable put Ricochet in an ankle lock, but Ricochet did slip out and hit a knee strike. Gable tried to release German suplex off the top, but Ricochet landed on his feet. Ricochet landed awkwardly, so Gable hit a Chaos Theory suplex. Reed then grabbed Ricochet and dropped him on Gable. Reed then hit both men with the senton, then gave Ricochet a tsunami and pinned him to pick up the victory. I actually really liked this match. I thought all three men worked really well together. Bronson Reed will now challenge Gunther next week for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh yeah. I think it was about time that Bronson Reed was going to challenge for the IC title.
Right.
And this match should be fan-freaking-tastic.
Mm-hmm. Jackie Redmond interviewed Becky Lynch. She admitted, I'm still not 100%, and I had 11 stitches, and she has 11 stitches in her arm. She said, when you're a fighting champion and you were doing it right, you were never 100%, to be honest. She plugged her book before saying that she would give Tegan everything she's got. Xia Li then walks up and was like, after tonight, I want a shot. I want the next one. And I'm like, what the hell have you done to earn this? Also, Lyra's the next one in line for Halloween Havoc. So, yeah, get to the back of the line and earn it, Xia Li. When the hell was the last time we saw Xia Li? And don't tell me main event, because I don't watch main event. Main event is basically AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. When was the last time we saw Xia Li on television?
Not gonna lie, I totally forgot about Xia Li.
I'm gonna look this up right now. When was Xia Li's last televised match? March 24th, 2023. Her and Lacey Evans lost a tag team match against Natalya and Shotzi to qualify for the women's tag team showcase match at WrestleMania. That's the last time we saw Xia Li on Raw or SmackDown. Before that, it was January 13th, and she lost the match in 2.5 minutes to Tegan Nox on SmackDown. We've literally never seen Xia Li on Raw in 2023. She had a Money in the Bank qualifier last year on Raw, but this year, we haven't seen her at all on Monday Night Raw. So who's going to care about this? No one.
I don't. I mean, like, I totally forgot about Xia Li. I forgot she was even on the roster.
Only reason I know Xia Li is still around because I always see like different wrestling websites go, here's the results from main event, and Xia Li's usually in the thumbnail. So it's like, oh, she's been working main event consistent over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So losing every single time. She lost one match to Indy Hartwell last week. She lost to Nikki Cross before that. She lost to Tegan Nox before that. Back in July, she lost to Dana Brooke. Back in July, she lost to Natalya. Then before that, she lost to Dana Brooke. And before that, she lost to Candice LeRae. All on main event. Xia Li hasn't won a televised match. Xia Li hasn't won a match in WWE. I'm a year back. 2 years
Probably
back scrolling.
2021.
Oh, I'm scrolling. I'm still scrolling. She won a dark match against Aaliyah on April 1st, 2022 at a SmackDown taping the night before WrestleMania 2022.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And she wants to go for the NXT Women's title? Who cares? Not this guy. Not that guy over there either.
It's probably just going to be her trying to get a shot, but then, like, management's going to be like, you haven't won a match in years.
No.
Get in the back of the line.
They're going to do the stupid AEW Open Challenge thing probably and just give her a shot, which is really going to suck. What didn't suck, Drew McIntyre, JD McDonough, Dominic at ringside. McIntyre no-sold a few chops from JD before launching him high in the air with the back body drop. Wade called this the biggest, highest back body drop he's ever seen. I think we've seen a better one from, I can't remember who gave it to him, but it was Brian Kendrick when he was Spanky. Got thrown super high up with the back body drop once. So a distraction by Dom allowed McDonough to chop block McIntyre and try to work over the knee. McIntyre took him down a couple more times as Dom again distracted the referee. And so, no, McDonough distracted the referee and Dom posted Drew. Dom tried to interfere again, so McIntyre shoved him into the announce table. Cole then said, quote, "We just got the monitors working again. Now they don't work again." McIntyre then gave McDonough a Future Shock DDT, hit him with a Claymore, and pinned him in a 4-minute match. I liked it. I thought it was effective. It's a good showcase match for Drew, showing, hey, I got two guys against me and I could beat both of them. Just think what I'm going to do against Seth. I liked it.
I did too. I really did.
Priest was shown watching in the back, very displeased. Ripley then told him that she had an idea. She had an idea. Here's my question. She didn't tell us what that idea was, but she told Drew. Because as we saw later, she was talking to Drew backstage in the back. We know Triple H is back in charge because he's doing the, hey, watch the background for people talking. But the weird thing was, her and Drew looked to be having a cordial conversation. So I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what that's all about. They then sent it to Wade Barrett. They said, you had a pretty intense interview earlier with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Ciampa said that DIY has always been bigger than them. DIY was created by the fans. They became the first tag team to main event a takeover in NXT history. Gargano thought everything happened for a reason, and this was finally their moment. He said he saw what was happening to Ciampa last week and knew he had to make the save. Then they were interrupted when they were brutally attacked by Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. They laid both men out, and there we go. Now we see this, and it's like, okay, Imperium attacks Ludwig, Giovanni. But then why did we get like a Ludwig Kaiser singles run package later? Like they're gonna push this guy on his own outside of Imperium or something. That was kind of weird. Good video package, but it was kind of weird. The idea of Ludwig's going on his own. Oh, but he's still working with Imperium. I don't know. I didn't get it.
I mean, I will say they've been doing like quite a few like singles matches with Ludwig.
Right, but
I don't know if you noticed that.
True, but it's all with like, oh, we're trying to soften up the next challenger for Gunther. It's still all Imperium stuff, though. It's not he's doing things himself. It's still all Imperium storyline and Imperium's dirty work.
Maybe it might be like their way of saying like I know this guy lost a lot of singles matches, but maybe they're doing this like hype video to make him like more serious.
Right.
Whenever he's doing more singles matches against like Gunther's like new opponents for the title.
We got a Tegan Nox hype video. She talked about how she was never supposed to make it in WWE and make it to the main roster because the days after she signed her WWE contract, she tore her ACL. 1 year later, she tore it again. She said she was lucky to even be here and she's never going to stop fighting. She was here to win. He was then interviewed in the back by Jackie Redmond. She said that Lynch would be fighting the best version of her. And this is no longer about the title. It's about showing what she can do. Natalya then shows up. I don't know what's going on with Natty. Natty's just all of a sudden changed her character. And she's missing encouragement. Natty was like, I know you're going to go out there and do great. I know you're going to put on a great show against Becky. What the hell? Like, can Natty not work right now and they're just doing this because she's out? I have no clue. This has been weird. They've been doing stuff with Natty to like hype up and be the hype man or hype woman for Tegan. But they're not, it's a little confusing.
Yeah, I don't. They've been doing like so much different stuff with Natty for like the past year. It's honestly kind of confusing.
She's the new Big Show. Every 3 weeks, she's changing from heel to baby face. 1 week she's a baby, 1 week she's a heel. 1 week she's a baby, 2 weeks later she's a heel. 3 weeks later she's a baby, 2 weeks later she's a heel. What the hell? She's the new Paul White Big Show.
Basically.
Ricochet was in the back, walking around, yelling for Nakamura. When Pierce was finally like, hey, calm your tits. You ain't getting them tonight. He's like, Nakamura's already been escorted out of the building. But I've got good news for you. Next week, you can have Nakamura in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And Ricochet was satisfied. This is also when we saw Rhea and Drew talking in the back. Again, something that Triple H did a lot when he first took over creative last year. So Triple H back in control, got that 99% control, and he's doing his, hey, watch for things in the background again. I like it. What do you think they were talking about? Because I have no clue. It wasn't like Rhea was talking to him in like a stern manner. It didn't seem like Drew was just sitting on a box with his leg up like, what up? Yep. You know? So it was like a cordial conversation. I'm just not sure what it was. Because remember, Rhea said, like, I'll take care of everything or whatever when JD lost.
Maybe it's like Rhea trying to like do like a business agreement with Drew, kind of like how they're doing with like Paul Heyman.
But what would it be? Soften up? Well, no, because that wouldn't even make sense. Because I was thinking, she says soften up Seth so Damian can cash in. But then if he softens up Seth, that means he's not beating Seth. I don't know. It's really weird. Then we had a 14 and a half. Go for it.
Maybe it's like, hey, like I'll make you a deal. If you like get Seth hurt enough to where Damian like can cash in, successfully win the belt, you could be first in line.
I could see that.
And stuff. And then maybe like Drew like says no, and that could lead to like Judgment Day feuding with Drew like before like Mania.
Right. Then we had a 14-minute match, the NXT title, women's title on the line. Becky Lynch against Tegan Nox. You didn't notice, Becky wore a glove that was like a long sleeve, basically to cover up her stitches. She wears stuff like this often with her gear, like the longer sleeved gear, but she wore it on the one arm this time to cover up the stitches. Lynch early on missed a dive off the apron and collided with the barricade. Nox followed this up with a cannonball off the apron, threw her back in the ring and got a 2 off of it. After a break, Lynch fired back up with some strikes and an exploder for a 2. Nox came back with a flying crossbody for a 2. Nox was surprised she didn't win with this move and then tried the Shining Wizard, but Lynch ducked and went for an armbar. Nox blocked it and drove Lynch into the turnbuckle. Nox dropped Lynch off the top and hit another cannonball. Nox applied an armbar to the injured arm of Lynch, but Lynch escaped and responded with kicks and a missile drop kick for a 2. Nox then caught Lynch off the ropes, hit her with a follow-away slam and covered her for a 2. Nox then tried a crucifix pin, only got a 2 off of it. Lynch kicked out and applied to disarm her. Eventually, Tegan Nox did tap out. Becky Lynch retains the title. So, 15-minute match almost. It's like 14 and a half minutes, but unfortunately, the crowd never really got into it. They were quiet for most of this match, if I heard correctly. Like, I never really heard the crowd get into it. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like the whole reason why the crowd really never got into it because they were probably like, well, Tegan's not winning, and so why should we care?
Exactly. Honestly, I think there's a good chance that Lyra beats Becky at Halloween Havoc.
True. And I could be wrong about this, but maybe another reason why maybe the crowd just didn't really get into it, because maybe there's also maybe a slight chance that like there's a lot of the live crowd that still doesn't really know Tegan that well.
True. They've only been building her up for what, 3 weeks?
Because remember, she took like that big, like a lot of time off ever since she joined Raw. So,
Right.
So maybe there's still a good chance. Like, who's Tegan again?
Mm-hmm. So as Becky was leaving up the ramp, she was looking at the camera and kept saying, "Buy my book. Hey, go buy my book." Adam Pearce was with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in the back. She's like, "Hey, Johnny is pretty banged up, but nothing serious. I'm still waiting word on Ciampa," which is weird that they haven't got word on Ciampa when this is supposed to have happened like in the middle of the day before Raw went on the air because Wade conducted the interview. So you think it had to have happened like at least an hour before Raw. So they haven't got a word on Ciampa in 3.5 hours or more. Anyways, Rhea walks in.
I don't know.
Rhea walks in and just goes, "Candice, Indy, out. I need to talk to Pierce." And they're like, "Excuse me?" And Rhea's like, "I need to talk to Adam about some stuff." And like Indy was kind of like, "Oh, you want to talk to me like that?" And then Candice was like, yeah, Indy, let's just go. Bye. Like they're scared of Rhea. But it's like, okay, they're scared of Rhea. But why? Rhea barely defends the title. Rhea just walks around with Judgment Day looking scary. What does she really do to be super intimidating to all these women? It's not like she's going out there and beating people's asses every single week to show she's so dominant. Like,
It's
weird.
the sole fact that she's the champion and stuff. Like, oh, and people are like, "Oh, she's tough. Let's not mess with her."
Right. So Pierce then goes, "All right, what can I do for you again?" And she's like, "Next week, I want Shayna Baszler." Or actually, she said, "I need to put my division in line." And he's like, "Well, what is that supposed to mean?" And she goes, "Next week, I want Shayna Baszler one-on-one. Make it happen." And then she walked off. Like, Adam Pearce, is he ever going to show any sort of like authority? And be like, "Hey, first off, you don't tell me what to do. You ask for things. And then I make them happen, yes or no." Because with Judgment Day, go for it.
The only person he really does that to is Chelsea.
Yeah, because like with Judgment Day and the Bloodline, he just like, "Whatever you want. Okay, whatever. Yep. Can't make you mad." Like, I don't get it. So Natalya then approached Tegan Nox in the back, started rubbing her leg and was like, "You did great. I know you didn't win, but you looked good out there." And then Katana Chance and Kaden Carter walked up and they're like, "Girl, you were so good. Girl, you looked great. Maybe we can go get some drinks and celebrate." And they're like, I'm like, "Bitch lost. Why are you so like, what? She lost. I get it. Don't. Also, the scripting here was very bad. So Chelsea Green and Piper Niven walk up.
This was basically like Roxanne Perez acting.
So Chelsea and Piper walk up. Chelsea mocks her and was like, "Oh, we having a pity party?" And then Green told Natty, or the Natty like got in Green's face and was like, "Hey, you don't need to be here. What are you even doing here?" And Natalya was like, "What are you gonna do?" No. So like Natty got in Chelsea's face and Chelsea like barked back at Natty, and Natty's like, "Oh, you wanna go? I'll take you on." And Chelsea goes, she looks at Piper and goes, "You gonna help here? You gonna get involved?" And finally Piper's just like, "Oh, yeah. You wanna fight, Natty? I'll fight you." Natty's like, "Challenge accepted." And then Piper goes, "Next week, season premiere, Monday Night Raw." I'm like, who the hell talks like that?
That last part was like extremely cringe. It was like they should have just said, "All right, next Monday." Like, why do they have to say next week on the season premiere of Raw? That just made it like very cringe.
Especially, I thought it was funny though. It almost made Piper look bad, like she was not paying attention or missed her cue. Because Chelsea was like, "Oh, you wanna come at me, Natty? Well, this is what's gonna happen." this is what's going to happen. Involved, right? Like, it almost made it seem like Piper wasn't paying attention or something. I don't know. It was weird. The whole thing was weird. And then like Piper and Chelsea walk off and Natty continues to rub Tegan's leg. What? I get console her in loss, but they're hyping her up like she got screwed or something. Like she should have won. No, Chica tapped out.
Yeah, this was pretty bad.
So as far as next week's season premiere of Monday Night Raw, Damian Priest and Finn Balor will be challenging for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Gunther will defend the Intercontinental title against Bronson Reed. Rhea Ripley will take on Shayna Baszler in a non-title match. Ricochet will go one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And Natalya will go one-on-one with Piper Niven. Then we got a really cool Ludwig Kaiser video. This was cool and weird at the same time. So Sammy and Kevin were in the ring already. Like, Sammy and Kevin came out. We go to commercial. Come back from commercial. We get this video of Ludwig Kaiser. A lot of AI art and stuff, which is really bad and weird. But he called himself like the A+ person or something. I don't know. He basically said he's like art himself. He's perfection. And so we cut back to Sammy and Kevin in the ring. And Sammy looks at Kevin and goes, "What the hell was that? Like, what was?" He literally says, "What the hell was that?" That made me laugh so hard.
Oh yeah, that
also go for
I
it.
thought that was perfect.
Yeah. Also, as you noted earlier, Sammy had his right music the second time they did come out.
Yeah, so obviously it was probably just someone probably clicked the wrong button for his theme song.
Right. Oh man, Tony Khan's still going off on Twitter.
What's he saying now?
So someone responds and says, hold on. I'm going to pull this up on the screen because this is actually kind of funny. We're going to pull this up really fast.
Dude, Tony Khan's is number one trending on Twitter right now.
Is he?
I think he is.
Hold on. I know he's getting his feelings hurt. No, number one is the Dodgers.
Oh, never mind then.
I know he was trending earlier, but he's not anymore. So let's pull this up on the screen. This is actually kind of funny. So Tony Khan tweets out that there's going to be the first 30 minutes of Title Tuesday Dynamite tomorrow, commercial free. He then sends a tweet right after that with a GIF that says, "Okay, you want to be a dick." And then someone goes, "We not watching, bucko." He then sends a Roderick Strong video, GIF that says, "Who gives a fuck?" And he goes, "Okay, we won't see you tomorrow night on Title Tuesday then." Then someone responds to that and says, "If Sir Vince McMahon said this, there would be many failed AEW fans crying nonstop and furious." Basically, like, if Vince was responding to fans like this in I'm just going to say a kind of unprofessional manner. Tony then responds, pull this right up. "If Sir Vince McMahon said that, it would be the least of his alleged misdeeds." What? You gotta be fucking kidding me, Tony Khan. Wow. He literally said, if Sir Vince McMahon said this, it would be the least of his alleged misdeeds. Like, really? Really, Tony? You're supposed to be the guy running this company, the professional boss? No, that ain't it. That's very just, childish and unprofessional. And Tony Khan showing why he's nothing more than a mark. I said it. Come at me.
This isn't the first time he's done this, though.
I know.
This is not the first time he's done this.
Like,
remember the one he said about like Big Swole on Twitter?
Yeah. So it's like
that was bad. This is probably worse.
I know I'm going to get them tweets. "Oh, you only like WWE." I've gotten them a lot recently. "You don't like anything in AEW. You should stop watching." No, I like a lot in AEW. But it's when the man running the company acts like a child on Twitter. How are we supposed to take anything that they do super serious?
I mean, there was another like pro wrestler who would like review like both like WWE and AEW, and he's always like pointing out like a lot of AEW mistakes, and people are like, "Oh, you're just nothing but a WWE fan." Like, and he literally responded, "I like all wrestling. Like, I just point out mistakes in like both companies and stuff." Like, I mean, we do that as well. Like, we point out like mistakes in WWE all the time,
right?
Like, that doesn't make us WWE haters.
How many times have I said during this review we're doing right now, that didn't make sense to me? That didn't make sense. Why would they even have done that?
Exactly.
I've criticized like 4 things already tonight. But anyways, main event time. I loved this match. It got a little they did a little too much of the all 4 men fighting on the outside and the ref can't get in control thing a little too much, because they did it twice. And like the first time, whatever. Second time, a little much. But it was Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso defending the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Rhodes and Zayn started off the match with a normal exchange until they exchanged chops. Zayn was annoyed and shoved Rhodes, so Rhodes shoved him back. Jey and Owens hit the ring, and they argued as they went back and forth. About 2 minutes in. Jey then tagged himself in after a commercial break and circled Zayn until they went at it. Jey got the better of the brief exchange, so Owens tagged himself in. Owens and Jey hammered away at each other until they spilled to the outside. Rhodes tried to get involved, so Zayn stopped him. Then this is when things got a little weird. Rhodes would like knock down Sami. Kevin had Jey on the announce table pounding on him, and Cody would just look over like, "Hey, Jey!" and then not do anything, and then eventually walk back over to Sami and kind of like do nothing. A little weird, like Cody was lost for a second, which is, I don't know. So they're fighting on the outside. They're aggressively brawling all around the announce table area. Referees yelling to get him back in the ring. Rhodes and Zayn then went at it again as we went to a break. Owens then hit Jey with a senton bomb for a 2 after the break. Owens and Jey exchanged super kicks. Jey hit consecutive super kicks, but Owens dropped him with a clothesline. Rhodes and Zayn then tagged in, and it was Rhodes doing the babyface hot tag. Rhodes hit a power slam and a Cody cutter for a 2. They countered each other and their signature moves until Zayn hit a blue thunder bomb for a 2. Zayn hit an exploder into the corner and went for the haluva kick, but Rhodes popped right out of the corner and hit across Rhodes. Owens then broke up the cover. Rhodes then set her for a pedigree, but Zayn hit a back body drop, and they both tagged out. Owens and Jey exchanged strikes and didn't initially seem to be on the same page, but then they got it all together. It kind of seemed like someone was lost here. Jey then hit a super kick and got a 2 off of it. Owens avoided an Uso splash and hit a stunner, but Rhodes broke up the pin. Zayn then wiped out both opponents with a flip dive, and Owens tried another senton bomb, but Jey got his knees up. Jey then hit Owens and Zayn with super kicks. Rhodes laid out Zayn and hit across Rhodes. Jey and Cody gave their version of the Cody Cutter 1D, and Jey pinned him to pick up the victory. Michael Cole kept yelling, "That's the Cody 1D. That's the Cody 1D. I think the better name for this would have just been the Cody. You know, you're kind of saying Cody, but the Cody. That's what you should call it. The Cody.
Since Saturday said the 1D cutter.
Nah, you're saying too much there.
I will say this like combined finish looked pretty cool though.
Yeah, no, they did it on the pay-per-view as well, and I really liked it. So after the match, Zayn shook hands with Rhodes and Uso. Owens then shook hands with Cody. He hesitated and then embraced Jey with a hug. What did you think of the match?
I mean, match was good, and I liked the ending of it where like both teams were like showing like sportsmanship and stuff.
Right.
Because I think this is eventually just going to lead to them two teaming against like the Judgment Day at War Games.
I believe so as well. But then who's there? No, you don't need a fourth. So there's 4 and 4. Duh. What if it's Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre against Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins in War Games? You add Drew and Seth, and that's the whole alliance thing here with Drew and Judgment Day.
I don't know if I want to see that. I mean, Seth and Drew, I mean, Drew's worked War Games before and he was good. And I think Seth would be great in War Games, but I don't know if I really want to see Drew team with like the Judgment Day, though.
Well, I mean, yes, it'd be teaming, but it's not like he's their friend. It's just, hey, common enemies, common foes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it would be a good match, but I don't know if that's something Drew would like necessarily want.
Maybe if it could lead to him getting so he loses to Seth, say at Crown Jewel. If that can lead to him getting another shot, maybe he pins Seth in War Games to pick up the win, and then that leads to him getting another shot at Seth in the world title. Going, I pinned you in War Games. Give me another shot. I could see that. But with that is everything that did take place tonight on Monday Night Raw. You know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's show. As far as the polls do go, let's refresh all of those. Looking at the Twitch poll, 80% liked the show, 20% did not like it. No, 20% thought it was just all right. Looking over here at the Twitter poll, the X poll, 77% liked the show, 16% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. Over on the YouTube community poll, 77% liked the show, 17% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. This person here comments, after hearing the news earlier today, I was curious to see how the show would go. Today was very good, 8 out of 10. This person says, I don't have this person just saying that I didn't watch it. This one says 10 out of 10. This person says, this was a great watch tonight. Show with end of Kevin made up with main event Jey Uso. And looking at the YouTube live poll, 82% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and a 5% didn't like it. So with that, guys, I do want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over on Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at the Luke Petke.
With that, guys, speaking of Twitch, I'm going to try and go live in a little bit. Twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. I want to try a little bit of the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta on PlayStation. But then I want to get into some Jackbox. We did a nice Jackbox stream last night that was really fun. And I want to do more of that. So if you guys want to come play some Jackbox, go over and follow Twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. And that way you get a notification when I do go live within the next hour or so. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you back tomorrow night for AEW versus NXT. We'll see how it all does go. Have a good one, guys. All right, let's see. If you're still watching live on Twitch, we're going to send you to a raid really fast.